Welcome back to Tell Me More Stories Told as podcast. We're going deep today on a true music icon, Nicki Minaj. I feel like everyone knows her hits and has seen her all over the place, but I think there's a lot more to her story.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Nicki Minaj's story goes way beyond just catchy music and viral moments and stuff. I mean, she is a master of reinvention, a really savvy businesswoman, and a cultural force, really
Mhm.
breaking down barriers and changing what it means to be a female rapper.
You're so right. It's funny, when I think Nicki Minaj, I immediately think of her style. Those colorful wigs, those outfits. She's like created a whole visual language.
It's totally a strategy. And it's
Wow.
brilliant. Like, she's used fashion to create this persona that's so larger than life and everyone knows it's her. But it's not just the looks, right? She's crazy talented lyrically. I mean, undeniable.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I remember the first time I heard Super Bass, that song was everywhere. And her flow was just so catchy. But it's interesting because she didn't start with Super Bass. She actually wanted to be an actress.
Yeah, that's right. Broadway dreams. But I guess music called to her. And she took a very unique path to stardom. She didn't wait around for a record deal or anything. She just released a bunch of mixtapes. Sucka Free, Playtime is Over, Beam Me Up, Scotty. And that's how she built a huge following.
So she kind of created her own buzz, like a
Mhm.
grassroots thing before the industry even caught on.
Exactly. And those mixtapes, they weren't just random songs. They really showed off her lyrical skills and how versatile she was and her attitude, rapping about everything from relationships to social issues to her own goals. It was raw and real, and people connected with that.
And that caught the eye of Lil Wayne, right? Who signed her to Young Money Entertainment. That was a big moment for her, right?
Absolutely huge. I mean, that's when things really took off. Her debut album, Pink Friday, was a smash hit, went triple platinum. It was this mix of pop and hip hop that no one had really done before.
I remember Pink Friday. It felt like a cultural phenomenon. Super Bass was everywhere. She was on magazine covers and TV. I mean, it was huge.
It was a whirlwind for sure, and it
Oh.
solidified her, like cemented her as a power player in the music world. But here's the thing, she didn't just stop there. She kept evolving, kept experimenting with different sounds and pushing the creative envelope.
Yeah, her second album, Pink Friday, Roman Reloaded, it went in a more dance pop direction, which surprised people.
Yeah.
But it also showed how fearless she is as an artist.
Exactly. That willingness to experiment, to try new things, that's a huge part of her appeal, I think. She's not afraid to be vulnerable one minute and then super confident the next. She can rap about heartbreak and then rap about being a powerful woman, sometimes in the same song.
That unpredictability is what keeps it so interesting.
Yeah.
But it's also, her talent, her drive, and she's a really good businesswoman.
Hmm.
We can't forget about her whole empire that goes way beyond music.
Oh, yeah, totally. Endorsement deals, fashion lines, her own perfume, a mobile game. She even has a custom wrap snacks flavor, Barbie Quinn with My Honey, I mean. She's incredible at using her brand.
While we're on the topic of Nicki Minaj, if you're loving this deep dive, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and make sure you never miss another episode of Tell Me More Stories Told as podcast. But anyway, back to Nicki. It's not all business deals though, right? She's known for being charitable and speaking out on social issues.
That's right. She's donated to tons of charities. She advocates for things like student loan forgiveness. And she even canceled a performance in Saudi Arabia because of their human rights record. She uses her platform to support what she believes in.
That takes guts, especially with so much on the line. It really shows that she's more than just an entertainer. She's a woman with, substance and wants to make a difference.
For sure, and her influence is undeniable. She's a global icon who's inspired so many artists and fans.
I think one of the things that's so great about her is she doesn't try to fit into a box. She's always embraced her individuality, even when it's caused controversy.
That's a great point. From her fashion to her lyrics, she's always pushed boundaries and challenged what people expect. And I think that's a big part of why she's so fascinating.
She's never been afraid to be herself, even when it means being polarizing. And I think that makes her relatable because we all want to be ourselves, without apologizing.
I totally agree. And that's a big reason she has such devoted fans, her Barbs. They're fiercely loyal and see her as more than just a musician. To them, she's a symbol of empowerment, of self-acceptance.
I think it's safe to say that Nicki Minaj is one of the most influential people in pop culture today. Her career has been wild, a lot of ups and downs, but she's always come out on top, stronger than ever.
Yeah, and her influence on music is huge. I mean, culture in general. She's really helped open things up for female rappers, especially the ones who aren't afraid to express themselves.
That's true. But, her career hasn't been totally smooth sailing. I mean, she's had these very public feuds with other artists like Mariah Carey, Cardi B, Remy Ma.
Oh, yeah. Those feuds, they were all over the news, created a lot of buzz for sure. And they were so public, too, like diss tracks, social media, even on reality TV.
Oh my gosh, when her and Mariah Carey were judges on American Idol, I mean, their fights were legendary. Some people thought it was all fake, just for ratings,
Yeah.
but it definitely made the show more dramatic.
Yeah, for sure. Whether it was fake or not, I mean, it did kind of highlight some of the issues women face in the music industry. There's so much pressure to be perfect and likable and follow all the rules. And Nicki Minaj has never been one to, follow the rules.
No, she always speaks her mind, even when it gets her in trouble, but I think that's something her fans admire about her.
Definitely. She stands up for herself, even when it's hard. And I think that really connects with people who are tired of seeing women being told to be quiet.
Right, I get that. But let's be real. Those feuds caused a lot of negativity, too. It's one thing to defend yourself, but it's another to be, like, attacking people publicly. Some people thought it hurt her image, took away from what she'd accomplished.
Yeah, I can see that. And it's something she's talked about in her music too. The pressure of being a woman in the spotlight and how easy it is to get pulled into the drama.
It's important to remember she's a complex person, right? She's made mistakes, but she's also learned from them. And she hasn't let those controversies define her.
Exactly. She always bounces back stronger than ever. I mean, that resilience is pretty inspiring.
Yeah, and despite all the drama, she's always had this strong connection with her fans, the Barbs. They're so loyal, they've always supported her no matter what.
Yeah, their relationship is really unique. She interacts with them on social media, gives them shout outs in her songs. She even does meet and greets and stuff. It's obvious that she really cares about them.
Yeah, and that kind of loyalty is rare in the music world.
Totally. It shows how real she is. She's never tried to pretend to be someone she's not. She's open about her struggles and her successes, everything. And that creates a bond with her fans that's about more than just the music.
Absolutely. I think it's also important to mention her impact on the LGBTQ plus community.
Hmm.
She's a big supporter of LGBTQ plus rights, and she's really embraced her LGBTQ plus fans.
Yeah, for sure. She is a true gay icon. And her music has become like anthems for self-expression and acceptance.
It's amazing to see how far she's come. From those early mixtapes to being a global superstar, breaking records and inspiring millions of people.
And she's done it all on her own terms, never compromised her vision or her values. I mean, that's really admirable.
As we're talking about her journey, it's clear she's more than just a musician. She's like a cultural phenomenon, a trendsetter.
Yeah, definitely. She's a businesswoman, a philanthropist, a role model, and she's always pushing the boundaries of what it means to be a female artist.
It's been a wild ride, her career, with all the twists and turns. But she's always stayed true to herself, and I think that's what makes her so interesting. It's wild to think about how much we've talked about. I mean, Nicki Minaj's career is so big. We could do like 10 deep dives just on her.
I know, right? We haven't even scratched the surface. But I do think we have a good idea of what makes her such a unique and powerful artist.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think is her biggest contribution, like, to music? It's hard to choose just one thing, but if you had to.
Oh, man, that's a tough one. But I think it has to be how she changed the way we see female rappers. I mean, she broke that glass ceiling and proved that women can do it just as well as men.
She didn't just break through, she smashed it. She proved that women can be just as lyrical and commercially successful as men.
Absolutely, and just as influential. And she did it all while being totally herself. Bold, brash, independent, never trying to fit in or meet anyone's expectations.
Exactly. She embraces her femininity, her sexuality, her heritage. I mean, she's a Trinidadian American woman, and she's proud of it.
Yeah.
And she's never been afraid to show that in her music and her style.
And that's so powerful, especially for young girls looking for role models who look like them. Nicki Minaj shows them that you can be anything you want without having to change who you are.
That's so true. And she's done it all while facing so much scrutiny and criticism. Her lyrics, her feuds, her fashion, I mean, everything. But she never let it silence her.
Nope, never. She always uses her platform to speak her mind, to challenge things, to support her fans. She's a force of nature. Her impact on music and culture is huge.
You know what I really admire about her? Her work ethic. She's constantly changing, trying new things, exploring new ideas. She doesn't just sit back and relax. She's always going for more.
That's what makes a true artist, right? That constant drive to evolve and grow. And you can see it in everything she does, music, business, philanthropy.
Yeah, and she's never forgotten where she came from. She always talks about growing up in Queens, and she uses her success to give back to her community.
It's a good reminder that success isn't just about fame and money. It's about making a positive difference in the world.
Well, I think it's safe to say we both learned a lot about Nicki Minaj today. She's such a complex and fascinating person, and she's had a huge impact on music, fashion, pop culture, everything.
I agree. She's one of a kind, a true trailblazer, and I think she's just getting started.
I can't wait to see what she does next. It's been great diving deep into her world today. And for our listeners, if you enjoyed this and want to hear more stories like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing.